Said I'd go over Project Freekart, some of the things I've done and whatnot. The engine is a Predator 224. I had gotten it on a project, or I don't even remember what, years ago. I didn't need it. I gave it to one of the kids' friends. And then I had this dad track or old guy go-kart racing idea. And so I knew this was the engine style I wanted to go with, so I talked to him and he actually ended up giving it back to me. And in the meantime, I had been watching YouTube videos on how to modify these engines, and I had no idea you could get so much power out of these little engines. But I was watching Redbeard Garage and a few others. So I kind of made a parts list or a wish list, and trying to do it on the inexpensive. I got the motor back, and I ordered a flat top piston and a shot peened, it wasn't a machine connecting rod, but it was good to whatever, 9,000 RPMs. Cheapy Amazon 10,000 RPM flywheel with only like 12 degrees of timing or 18, I'm not even sure. The carburetor is a 26 millimeter PWK that I actually had brand new for an old go-kart I had many years ago, and I had to buy intake manifolds and stuff like that. And then I bought the exhaust and a 265 cam. And then I took it, when I had the head off, years ago, I did porting on dirt bikes and three-wheelers and whatnot. And so I cleaned up the ports a little bit, and I used the valve compound and made sure the valves were sealed good. And I did use 26-pound valve springs, but it still has the stock rockers and that sort of thing. The exhaust is just your racing go-kart exhaust. Definitely want a muffler because I'm old and noise sucks. But I've learned quite a bit. Mainly with the clutching. What I did, I bought the least expensive clutch kit I could find off eBay, and it wasn't even that much at all. It was like $40 or $50 or something, and it was an all-inclusive kit. But what happens is my engine goes, I don't know how high, but well past, there's no governor or anything on it anymore, and the stock clutch, it exploded. So don't use these cheap Chinese stock style clutches if your governor is removed. They do not hold up. So I bought the Super 30. So the Super 30 or Juggernaut or Torque Converter, a few names for it, they're good to like 8,500 or 9,000 RPMs, and that works really well. But then it was a little tall geared. This sprocket is a conversion sprocket sold by Go Power Sports for this Carter 150 style go-kart, which originally had a GY6 style engine. So I flopped the axle around, remounted the caliper over here, built some mounts, and then I bought the sprocket from Go Power Sports. They're like $55 or something, and then you can get a 50 tooth, 56 tooth, or a 60 tooth. And I just went with a 56 tooth because I really didn't know. But anyways, then a new Comet, if you go buy a go-kart, you'll probably end up with a Comet clutch, which I'm sure is way better than these cheap Chinese things. But it came with a 6-inch. You can kind of see the size difference. This is a 6-inch one that it came with, and I bought a 7-inch to give me a little better low end while maintaining my high end. And then these clutches come with an unknown whatever. You have no idea what the tension is or what the spring is rated. So I bought a real Comet spring for the driven clutch. So I kind of, I had a known starting point. And that works really well. This thing gets up and goes, and there's more top end than I'll ever need. And it works really nice. I'm still having some jetting issues. I can't stab the throttle, it'll bog out, but if you kind of feather it, it can get going. And, you know, a heartache of buying China parts, at least buying China parts from Amazon and not a place like Go Power Sports, is you seem like you're saving some money, but you end up kind of buying the wrong shit, which is annoying. But the correct jets just showed up today, or the ones that actually fit this carburetor. So next couple of days I'll get the jetting sorted out a little better. And the other thing I want to do is, these are 22-inch rear tires, and off of one of the other Freekarts, actually I think it was this one originally, I got the newer Carter Talon fancy aluminum wheels, and these are 18-inch. However, unbeknownst to me, the hub pattern is different, and when I switched axles and everything, I had to cut the one hub off, and that was the hub that fit these tires. So I ordered some 200X, ATC 200X hubs, and I'm hoping they fit on the axle. I think they will. But I want to use these tires because they're so much shorter, and I want to use that size, 18-inch, so it'd be 18 by 8s, which is a common ATV size. Then I'll have a whole lot of low end, and these weigh, with this aluminum wheel, they weigh probably less than half of those other ones. These tires that are on there are really heavy. Not sure why, they just, well, steel wheel, but they're really heavy. Because this, what I've done to this motor and with this clutching and everything, this thing is way fast enough for my racetrack. I mean, there's no way you can come close to getting to the top end. And then I ran into another issue, which is I just had a regular crankcase vent off the valve cover, kind of like you normally would, and that vent or that filter was filling up with oil, and it was kind of spewing all over. So now I had ordered an actual catch tank that I'll mount somewhere in here, and hopefully that'll take care of that problem. I'm not really sure why it's blowing out so much oil. I may have it overfilled. That may be just how they are. I don't know. Then what's next with the motor, I may buy a better flywheel over the winter, just so I know more of where the timing is. I may buy 1.2 ratio rockers, just because it seems like a, you know, those kind of parts, the flywheel and the ratio rockers, I blow this motor up, I can reuse them on the next motor. And then when I put the flat top piston in this 224, I didn't know it, but my piston is sitting about 20 thousandths below the deck, maybe even 30 thousandths. And so I need to buy a longer connecting rod to bring my compression ratio up. And that'll help a great deal. However, as it is, this motor has more than enough power right now, and I'm really happy with it. And so I don't necessarily need to do any of those things. But it just seems like, you know, I'd like to upgrade the rod anyways, just for durability. And I'm not going to leave any power on the table. So that's where that is. And this little pipe, I got this from Go Power Sports, I think. And it came with the mounting bracket and all of that. And it's actually, you know, this muffler is about 8 inches long. It's pretty tolerable, you know, it's not ear-piercing loud or anything like that, so it works out pretty good. So as far as the rest of the cart, I got to get a better on-off switch, because I just have this one literally duct taped on there, but got to have a kill switch. I'm probably going to add another kill switch back here, so when you start it, if the throttle sticks or something and it goes to take off, you got a way to quick kill it. I did pick up a super cheap tachometer just so I can know where my clutch is engaging and where the RPMs are. And, you know, that was like $9 on Amazon or something, so I thought it was totally worth it. The seat is horrible. The wood is gone, and it hurts my butt bad, and I can't stand it. I'm old, and it sucks. So I'm going to definitely be addressing that somehow. And then I'm going to pick up some sort of pretty sparkly blue paint, and I'll take it all apart and get some paint on it. And definitely over the winter, probably not soon, but all of these shock absorbers are just garbage and they need to be replaced. I'm not sure. The XCR shocks will fit, and they have rebound and compression dampening control, and they're Fox and rebuildable and all that. So I have another one of those sleds laying out back. I might pull those and see how they work. And then this rack and pinion, the steering is super stiff on this just because this thing sat outside for forever. And I don't know. I don't know how much time I'm going to put into trying to correct that. I've already lubricated it where I could and that sort of thing. But a whole new setup is like less than $100 on Amazon. So I'm probably just going to buy all new steering and just be done with it. Uncertain. But it definitely needs to be addressed. I got all the brakes working. The back brakes suck. These lines are just like the ultra cheap China, you know, and I'm sure it's original. I had to mount the caliper over on this side, and I might upgrade the caliper and upgrade to at least the rear to braided lines, some sort of steel. I don't know. I gotta investigate and figure out what I'm gonna do there. But anyways, I mean, this thing runs like a champ. Pretty happy with it. Makes plenty of power for what I'm doing. When I get the gear ratio drop down, which those tires will do. Oh, the other thing, the 200X hubs, if they fit, they'll move my tires out about 2 inches on either side. I don't know, if you're familiar with these go-karts, they kind of have a little narrower back end than front end. And that'll help a little bit, I think. But anyways, after I get my new hubs, I'll put those on, assuming that the hubs fit this axle. I kind of crossing my fingers and doing a little bit of an educated guess on that, so we'll see. But I'm hoping that'll bring my gear ratio down enough just to maximize my essentially my 0 to 30, because the racetrack has so many curves and everything. You know, I'm not really too concerned about top end. This thing goes plenty fast when you let it wind up. I don't know. Anyways, so that's kind of the update on this. I definitely wanted a 2-seater go-kart because it'd be fun to take, well, Milo likes to ride with occasionally, but just to be able to take somebody around and show them the racetrack, maybe they want to race with me. It's just nice to be able to bring someone with. And I don't recommend, I mean, these go-karts are nice because they have decent suspension, they have rack and pinion steering, they have hydraulic disc brakes front and rear. But you got to convert the whole thing over to the Predator style motor, and that's an issue. They're kind of expensive to go buy one, and I think if I were to have to recommend, I'd just buy like a Yerf dog with this style motor on it already and suspension. So anyways, there we go. Some new tires, paint, and we'll catch you later.